This is Analytical Media. We are a consortium, a group of therapists, college professors, and well-published, peer-reviewed authors. Today we're going to talk about how dumb is dumb. How dumb are people really? Specifically, we're looking at conspiracy theories. How quickly, how easily people believe in conspiracy theories. Some conspiracy theories are really dumb, stupid, beyond acceptance. And that's something to think about before you believe in a conspiracy theory. It would be okay if being dumb came at no expense, but being dumb comes at a great expense. You need to believe the truth. You need to believe reality. What's real? It's critical to recognize that. You need to understand reality. You need to see it more clearly. And the less you see reality, then by definition, the more delusional you are, because that's what a delusion is. It's an inability to accept reality or to perceive reality as it is. So it's a problem if you're quick to believe every conspiracy theory that comes your way, everything you read about. But it's very important to recognize how dumb some of these things are. How dumb do you have to be to believe the following conspiracy theory? This is the latest one, based on the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Of course, we have people saying, just like with JFK Jr., people are saying he's not dead. So there are many people that are saying that Charlie Kirk is not dead. Now, his wife isn't saying that. She seems to be overcome by grief. There are lots of people that loved Charlie Kirk, and there are people who disliked Charlie Kirk. And among the people that loved him and the people who disliked him, I don't know that you would find anyone that agreed that he should have been shot, honestly. Only a fool would believe that Charlie Kirk should have been shot. Now, those who liked him will grieve, and those who disliked him will not grieve, and that's your right. However, even those who are not grieving believe that whoever shot him should be punished, severely punished. Murder is the most severe punishment in law. So we've got the two positions, those who are grieving over the death and those who are not grieving over the death. And the one place that they will both agree is that he is dead. Now, they won't agree on whether or not he was a good guy, and they liked him, they believed what he had to say. And remember, that's your right as an American citizen. At least it always has been. You can believe what you want to believe. You just have to follow the law. And everyone agrees that whoever shot him broke the law and should be punished. And everyone agrees that this type of thing should be stopped no matter what. We should stop it. We all agree on that. At least the more sane people believe on that. The vast majority of people believe that. I know plenty of conservatives who feel bad that Charlie Kirk was shot. And I know lots of liberals who are quite upset with Charlie Kirk being shot. In no way are they happy that he got shot. No way. Because, yes, one man was killed. One man was shot. And if that was the only man in the world, that wouldn't be a problem. Or if there were two men left in the world and one lived on one continent and the other continent, it wouldn't matter. But there are lots of people, millions, billions, who are expressing their political beliefs, and they should be able to do that without fear of being shot. But we're not addressing those issues today, but I think we can all agree on that. You should feel it's too late to do anything to help Charlie Kirk. But it's not too late to help you or any other person who wants to express a political belief. And that's what we should learn from all this, how to stop it, to make you safer. Not Charlie. It's too late to help him. But how can we make you or your children safer as they express their political beliefs? Conservative, liberal, in the middle. How can you protect people? How can we make it such that people understand You have a right in this country to express your political beliefs. What can we do? That's what needs to be fixed. Too late to help Charlie. And he most certainly did not deserve to be killed because he expressed his beliefs. Some people loved him, some people didn't like him very much. And that's your right as an American. But for all those people, the vast majority, we agree on one thing, that Charlie Kirk is no longer in this world, just as JFK Jr. is no longer in this world. So we get back to the concept of how do ridiculous conspiracy theories propagate? Because when you believe something that is blatantly false, it is dumb. It is stupid. It's the utmost ignorance possible. So we need evidence, and we need good evidence. We've got to consider the source of the evidence. And there are many people today who believe, check TikTok, Instagram, social media, many people believe that Charlie Kirk is alive. It would be nice if that were true, but it isn't true. And we're focusing on how do people believe things that are so ridiculous and so asinine. How is that possible? And how does it hurt? Well, it hurts them, and it hurts other people. It hurts their children and the people they interact with as they spread lies, false beliefs. And here are some of the reasons they believe this is a big conspiracy. Number one, Charlie Kirk's bodyguards and security team standing behind him and in the picture frame were using hand signals. Now, why were they using hand signals? So they could communicate with other members of the security staff. They were doing it openly. They knew they were being recorded, that they could be seen. Nothing secretive about that. It's something that occurs in loud arenas, venues, where noise is going to be great, too great to talk, even on a headset. You use hand signals for quick communication. Standard practice. And why would his own team have him shot? It's ridiculous. But that's part of the conspiracy. Because wasn't really Charlie who got shot. Seemed like it, but it isn't. How do we know it wasn't him? Because of him in the casket. Read TikTok. What are they saying? They're saying it didn't look like Charlie in the casket. They're saying his hands were the wrong color. They're saying that his outfit he was wearing looked funny, like it was stuffed. They're saying his skin color was wrong. No. That's observant, because all of those things are true. But the big mistake, the stupidity, the ultimate stupidity, is to suggest that a dead body looks like a living body. It doesn't. Look it up. Do your research. From the moment of death on, the body changes. It does turn color. It turns to an ashen gray. The body's losing fluids. The lips get smaller. The skin sinks in. If you have an autopsy, which probably Charlie did, because anytime there's a controversy or a murder, a violence suspected, there is an autopsy. Maybe there wasn't. I'm not saying there is. And that's the difference between me and people who lie on the internet. I don't know, but you could look it up. That eventually will become known if it's not known already. When an autopsy is done, all of the organs are removed from the body, and they are just placed back in there. They don't sew them back in. They just put them in. Yeah, it's observant to say his hands were too yellow. But when you look at the skin color of anyone's hands in a casket, that skin color is going to be the color of the makeup that was applied by the mortician. And it might have looked good when they put it on to start with, but as the skin continued to turn color, change color, it may not have looked good, may need touched up. There are lots of gross and disgusting things that come with embalming. We are certainly not going to discuss those things. These are the obvious things, the not so bad things. And these are the things that explain why he looked different in the casket than when he was alive. So the dumb thing is to think that a person in a casket should look just the same as a living person. That comes from ignorance, as does every other conspiracy theory. I listened to a video earlier that was brought to my attention by another member of Analytical Media. And it was a guy with a hunting, ballistics, self-protection type channel who is insisting that the FBI is lying about everything. Now, am I saying the FBI never lies? Am I saying the government never lies? Well, I'm not saying that at all. That's my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is. However, he was photographed by at least 4 cameras. There were people standing a few feet away from him. And this guy claims that it's impossible for him to have been shot with a .30-06. He claims everything's a lie. He was shot from the other side. He was shot from behind, not in front. Now this is just a guy that's got a channel, maybe 100,000 viewers or so, subscribers. But he's affecting many other people. He may have a right to his opinion, but I don't think he has a right to spread something that's false. He doesn't have the credentials to comment on these things. He says the hole's too big, so that has to be an exit wound. And that explains the blood that's flying out. However, medical doctors who've gone over this have said that the blood flying out from the entrance wound is because the carotid artery was cut and all this pressurized fluid came flying out. That's what blood pressure is. You go and get your blood pressure checked. That's what it is. It's 120 over 60. There's blood pressure when you're dead. There's no blood pressure. It comes out. The pressure is released internally or externally. Now there's your explanation for why he didn't look like he was alive in the casket, because he was dead in the casket. And all people are dead in the casket. And it's a shame to be that ignorant, to think, to not understand what a non-living person looks like in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, the next day. And that's the danger, because they spread it to other people. They spread lies and misinformation, which can only mislead other people. And who are they? That special, mysterious they. They in quotes. The people that organize all this mass conspiracy. And where did they come up with this idea? And who are the people that work for they? And where is Charlie if they did this? And why would they do this to Charlie? And why would all the high-ranking right-wing people be in mourning when they know it's not real, that he's really alive, hanging out with JFK Jr., I guess? Now, that conspiracy, I think for most of you listening to this, the conspiracy that he's alive, I think for most of you, the vast majority, you'll reject it as being ridiculous, of no value. It's one conspiracy you're not going to buy. Well, I would ask you to be just as critical with every other conspiracy that comes your way. When you had conspiracy theories that said that Democrats were barbecuing babies, you should have demanded some pretty high evidence to believe that. You really think so? Are there any bones? When you hear people accused of pedophilia, you should demand some high evidence also. Some evidence. It can't be because your cousin Susie told you to look it up. Go to the internet and go to a certain place. No, it can't be that. It's got to be much more than that. Look, you don't want to be wrong. You don't want to accuse your husband of cheating on you if he isn't, because that could end your relationship. You don't want to invest in the things that your broker told you to invest in, unless they're a good investment. You could go bankrupt. You could lose your home. And many, many people have. You want the truth. You don't want to believe in fantasies, because you'll prosper if you can look at reality correctly. You can predict what stock's going to go up because of research. You can predict what stock's going to go down because of research. And you have a good chance of being right. Better chance than somebody else who's just taking the advice of somebody he barely knows on the internet, or his cousin who's never been right about anything even once in his life. So this is about you. You gotta be really dumb to believe this conspiracy, that Charlie's alive because his skin color's not right in the casket. If you don't believe me, please go to TikTok or YouTube and look this up. There it goes. Guess you can't be too upset if this is all a big conspiracy. But I think in this case you have a right to be upset. Both conservatives and liberals. But let's not believe in the other conspiracies either without evidence. Think about it. This is Analytical Media. We're a group of therapists, professors, peer-reviewed authors. I hope this has helped. We will see you when we publish next. And please subscribe. Share this with people you want to help. If you think it'll help, share it. Subscribe. Comment. Okay, take care. We wish you the best.